Why you learn everything but still poor. You've read the books, watched the videos, and listened to the podcasts. You know what a Roth IRA is. You've taken 6 courses on copywriting, learned every strategy possible on YouTube, stocks, crypto, real estate, everything. But your bank account still feels broke. Your income still flat. Your financial life still stuck. So what gives? Here's the brutal truth. Most people aren't learning to grow. They're learning to feel less guilty for not acting. Because learning is safe. Learning feels productive. But it's not the same as changing. And if you're not careful, you'll become the most informed broke person you know. So in this video, we're not sugarcoating anything. We're breaking down 5 uncomfortable reasons you're learning everything and still not wealthy. Let's begin. Chapter 1. You're learning to feel productive, not to act. You don't need more tips, you need more action. But action is scary. It has risk, it has feedback. So you stay in the learning phase forever. Buy another course, watch another YouTube breakdown, read another thread on X. You tell yourself you're preparing, but really, you're hiding. Because learning gives you dopamine. It feels like progress without the price of failure. You can talk about business without starting one. You can memorize investing terms without investing a cent. And here's the trap. You feel smart, you feel busy, but you're not getting richer, just more informed. So ask yourself, when was the last time I implemented something fully? Not halfway, not tried it for a week, fully. Because if learning is your comfort zone, action will always be your missing piece. Chapter 2. You're learning everything except about yourself. You know how to write cold emails, you know the basics of real estate, you even understand how crypto works. But here's what you don't know: why you keep procrastinating, why you panic when money gets tight, why you self sabotage when things finally go well. This is the deeper layer. Most people focus on external knowledge, not internal wiring. They'll study 10 ways to make money, but never study the beliefs running their life. You want to break through your income ceiling? Start with self awareness. Because you're not a machine, you're a human with triggers, patterns, and subconscious stories. Until you understand them, you'll keep hitting invisible walls. No system can save you from a confused self. No tactic works if your identity rejects it, and no mentor can guide you if you don't know who you are. So pause the how to content and ask, what keeps pulling me back into the same struggle? And that's where your real curriculum begins. Chapter 3. You can't be patient, so you keep jumping to new strategies. You try freelancing, doesn't blow up in 30 days, drop it. You try selling digital products, first launch flops, pivot. You buy a course on investing. Portfolio goes sideways, pull everything out. You want results now. And if it's not fast, you assume it's broken. So you jump. From niche to niche, from coach to coach, from passive income to active chaos. Because waiting feels like failure. But here's the irony: jumping too fast is what's actually keeping you broke. Every strategy needs time to work. Every system needs months of data. Every skill needs seasons of practice. But if you keep quitting halfway, you never learn what works. You never see the compounding. You never become dangerous at anything. Growth isn't sexy at first. It's awkward, slow, boring. But you either commit or you restart forever. Chapter 4. You learn because you secretly want someone to save you. This one's uncomfortable, but real. Sometimes you're not learning to grow. You're learning because deep down, you're hoping someone will save you. That mentor, that course creator, that guru. They'll give you the exact steps. They'll fix your life. They'll carry you to freedom. So you consume everything they say. You copy their words. You idolize their systems. But the moment things don't click, you blame them. You feel lost. You start over, looking for the next savior. The truth is, no one's coming. not to rescue you, not to hold your hand. At some point, you have to stop collecting tools and start swinging your own hammer. Learn from others, yes, but don't outsource your ownership. Wealth doesn't come from perfect guidance, it comes from taking messy action and trusting yourself to adjust. That's where real power starts. Chapter 5. You want clarity, but avoid discomfort. You say you want to understand money, but you avoid checking your bank account. You say you want to fix your habits, but you never track your time or face your spending. You say you want clarity, but you run from the mirror. Here's the truth: you don't want clarity, you want comfort. And those two things rarely come together. Clarity feels sharp, it cuts through the excuses, it reveals how far you've drifted, it exposes the behaviors that feel safe but keep you small. And that's why you avoid it. You read books but don't apply them. You watch videos but don't reflect. You say you're processing, but really you're just protecting your ego from the truth. Because the moment you slow down and look, you'll have to admit some uncomfortable things: that you're not as disciplined as you thought, that your version of trying is half hearted, that you've been choosing short term relief over long term peace. And that's hard, but it's also the beginning of everything. You can't build a better future if you're lying about the present. You can't grow if you're not willing to feel the friction. So stop hiding behind more knowledge and start facing the truth. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it hurts. But discomfort is the down payment for transformation, and clarity is what turns noise into direction. Until you face it, you'll stay stuck in the loop, full of knowledge, but going nowhere. Final truth: if information alone made people rich, Google would have ended poverty. But it doesn't, because information isn't transformation, it's what you do with it and who you become in the process. So stop hoarding ideas, stop hiding behind education, stop learning just to escape responsibility, and start building your own blueprint. Because wealth doesn't come from knowing more, it comes from knowing yourself and moving forward anyway. And if you don't know where to start, take the Money Mirror quiz. It's not another generic personality test, it shows you your actual financial blind spots based on how you think, act, and avoid wealth. Because sometimes the thing keeping you stuck isn't the strategy, it's the story you keep telling yourself. If you want to break that story, start with awareness. Link in the description, and subscribe if you're ready for more no fluff, honest content about money, identity, and real financial growth. Because the longer you stay in learning mode, the longer you delay your actual breakthrough. I'll see you in the next one.